Cincinnati is making headlines, but it's not for its chili or one of its professional sports teams this time. If you've seen the viral videos of the big fight downtown recently, you might be wondering, is Cincinnati safe? Is this somewhere that I really should be considering moving to? Well, hi, I'm Rhonda with Comey & Shepherd Realtors, and welcome back to my channel where we do discuss buying, selling, and all of the neighborhoods of Cincinnati. But let's unpack it. We're gonna talk about crime, community, culture, and why, despite headlines, Cincinnati is still one of the most underrated cities to live in. So let's start with what happened. A fight broke out in downtown Cincinnati this past weekend. And it was so horrific, the video made national news. Now, I'd like to point out that this happened around 3 a.m. Possibly alcohol was involved, but even the crime task force that normally helps walk the streets and keep things in check, they had already gone home. It did look like an alcohol-fueled, terrifying event. And we still do not have all the details. I've heard a few things, but I don't want to pass something along that I don't know for sure is true. Just know, we appreciate that the police have arrested 3 suspects, and considering there were quite a few people involved, I am hoping that there will be some more arrests coming, as well as hopefully the full story. Now, I have been accused of painting too rosy a picture of Cincinnati on this channel, so let's be honest. Crime in parts of downtown Cincinnati are up, but it's mostly petty theft and car break-in. Obviously, when you have some sort of high-profile incident like we just saw, you may want to question whether or not crime is out of control. But according to WCPO.com, violent crime in Cincinnati is actually down overall. In fact, according to Cincinnati Police Department data, neighborhoods like Oakley, Hyde Park, and Mount Lookout, they remain very safe. And if you go to nearby areas like Westchester and Mason, violent crime is consistently lower than both state and national averages. So if you currently live here, you've probably seen some Facebook posts from people that they left Cincinnati 20 years ago. They just couldn't handle all of the crime. And I really think that things got a little out of hand during the Cincinnati riots of 2001. I mean, there were already long-standing tensions between police and the Black community here, but then police officers shot an unarmed man. There were big riots. But it is important to recognize just how far Cincinnati has come since then. Community relations have improved dramatically. We've got one of the most diverse police forces in the state. Also, the Over the Rhine neighborhood, it was once considered off limits by a lot of people, and it's now filled with restaurants and breweries, art galleries. I see this type of diversity and harmony kind of all over the city, not just downtown. But we also see schools, the suburbs, parks, and local events. Now, has every problem been solved? Of course not. But the Cincinnati of 2025 is not the Cincinnati of 2001. And most of the locals will tell you this city has heart. Now, another thing that comes up quite a bit, especially for people relocating here for work, is what's the political and cultural climate and what's the vibe of Cincinnati? Here's the real story. The city of Cincinnati itself leans left, as most urban areas do. But if you drive about 15 to 20, 30 minutes outside of downtown Cincinnati, places like Westchester, Lebanon, Loveland, Milford, you're going to find communities that are much more conservative, many faith-based and family-focused. But they're also really diverse culturally, racially, and economically. One of the things I love about living and working in this area is you can really find your tribe, whether you're a young professional, a retiree, or you have a growing family. There's a place for you here. Most people, they just want good schools, safe neighborhoods, and friendly neighbors. Politics don't really come up that often, and when they do, a lot of times people go, oh, we're not going to talk about that. Now, before I go, I do want to talk about the weather, because I swear Cincinnati's trying to win some sort of ridiculous weather award this year. One week we have flooding rains, also like cicadas that were so crazy in spots. Then we moved on to 97 degrees with humidity. With the heat index, it felt like 110. You walk outside, you instantly feel like a microwaved bagel. But that's just part of our charm here. We get all 4 seasons, sometimes in 1 week. Summers can be humid, but this one was just like a little extra. But we've got amazing parks, rivers, community pools, and splash pads, and even places like Kings Island where you can cool off. So, is Cincinnati perfect? No. What I can tell you from years of helping people move here, Cincinnati is typically a place that surprises people. It's affordable, it's livable, it's full of character and history. We've got great schools, strong job markets in healthcare, logistics, and tech, as well as education. I hear about a lack of water in some places. We don't even think about that here. The high cost of energy. If we have extreme heat where your air conditioning doesn't turn off for like 5 solid days, your utility bill might be higher, but it's not every season or every month. And just the amount of crime in general, it's just different here. One viral fight does not define a city. You have to look at the big picture. Cincinnati is growing, and it's continuing to show why it's a great place to call home. If you're thinking about moving to Cincinnati, just want to know more about the neighborhoods, the schools, or the real estate market, I'm here to help. Subscribe to this channel, reach out directly, or start a conversation in the comments below. But stay cool out there, and maybe pack an umbrella just in case. This is still Cincinnati. All right, we'll see you next time.